On this episode of The Haul, we're armoring up and showing you a few different styles of front end protection for your F-150. Hey guys, Justin with AmericanTrucks.com here. Now the F-150 is no doubt a very functional utility vehicle, right? Whether it be for work, play, or maybe even a combination of both. And just like the F-150 and its many different uses, there will also be many different ways to help protect that front end, whether on the job site, off-road with some buddies, or maybe even in your grocery store parking lot. So in this video, we're gonna give you a few different flavors of front end protection, all brought to us by our friends over at Barricade, who do offer some very affordable armor solutions for your truck. So with all that said, let's get into our first pick. First up, we got the Barricade HD Bull Bar here in black, complete with your skid plate and 20-inch LED light bar for right around that mid-$200 price point. Now, full disclosure here, guys, these things are gonna be an aesthetic mod first and a protection mod second. Why do I say that? Well, the majority of your bull bars here in the category really aren't up to the task of handling any hardcore beatings or abuse, so you should be aware of that before pulling the trigger on one for your rig. However, that being said, it's still gonna serve as a great first line of defense against low speed stuff, wayward shopping carts in the parking lot, and of course, any inconsiderate parallel parkers. Materials for the Barricade do include 3.5-inch tubular stainless steel, and in this case, finished off in that textured black powder coat, but if you prefer these things with a little bit more flash, you can also find them in a polished or chrome finish here on the site as well. Now, aside from that bar or hoop design here of the bull bar, you're also getting a skid plate kicked in, which is gonna give you a little bit more protection for the underside of the front bumper, but does stop short of things like your oil pan or other vitals underneath the truck. However, the cherry on top, in my opinion, is the dual row LED light bar, which obviously doesn't do anything for protection, but it is one of the nice pros of going with the bull bar because it adds auxiliary lighting to the front end of your truck in a clean manner, and best of all, without having to drill a ton of holes. Now, I do want to circle back and just state that while yes, most of the options in the category are really not up to the task of high-speed impact or serious abuse, you can find options out there such as push bars, for instance, or you might want to consider one of our next few options instead. However, if you are looking to make a visual improvement while adding some low-speed protections from minor dings and bumps, the Barricade HD Bull Bar would be a great choice. Up next, we have the first of two complete bumper replacements from Barricade. This one being Barricade's Off-Road HD bumper here, complete with two LED cube lights, all for that mid-$600 price point. Now, when you completely change the front bumper like you have in this case, you're getting that extra protection in the form of superior materials. Case in point, 5/32 cold form plate steel here, which is gonna weigh more than double the weight of your factory bumper. So very stout, very, very solid. Now that cold form plate steel has been finished off in the textured black powder coat, as you can see, which is pretty much par for the course in the land of aftermarket bumpers, and will help provide you with some additional protection from scratches and corrosion over the years. But maybe one of the coolest things about the off-road variant here from Barricade is its modular design, which basically allows you to add to this thing and increase that protection even further. For instance, you can add an optional overrider bar here, which will give you some solid protection for that grill area. And there's also an optional skid plate available on the site that will increase protection for your truck's vitals, such as that composite oil pan. Now, obviously, this is going to add to the price, but even fully optioned out, the Barricade Off-Road HD here is still going to come in far less than some of your more expensive options currently in the category. But enough about protection, let's briefly talk some features here with the Barricade because there are a couple to mention. First and foremost, this is the off-road version, so therefore you are getting a little bit more approach angle thanks to the bumper ends here. And that's also going to help deliver a very cool pre-runner style look. However, that design does make your crash bars visible on this bumper if you have not modified them yet, so just be aware of that if you're shopping the off-road variant. Secondly, we did talk lighting. Let's cover it again. Twin 3-inch cube lights are included with this bumper, but you do also have space for up to a 31-inch light bar in the center there for the ultimate in lighting firepower. But all in all, guys, the Barricade Off-Road HD is a great looking, great fitting, affordable full replacement with the add-ons possible to only increase your front end protection. Up next, we have the non-off-road version of the Barricade HD. And again, this is their base bumper coming in at right around that mid to high $500 price point. Now, just like the previous bumper, you're still getting that same toughness thanks to the 5/32 plate steel here, cold formed, but because there is more material, you're just getting more coverage and therefore more protection overall. And along with that 5/32 plate steel, you're also getting that same 2-stage textured black powder coat to help aid in durability over the years. But whereas that slim-fitting off-road variant does kind of limit your material for functionality and approach angle, the standard Barricade HD is going to lay on that angular plate steel thick and therefore provide you with a ton of coverage the entire width of the front bumper, as you can see, and one that protrudes pretty far from the front of the truck as well. So if you're going to hit something, you're going to catch this monster first before you get up into your plastic. Now, ultimately, the standard HD doesn't pack the modular design of the off-road bumper, meaning there's no hoop option or skid plate, but base for base, the standard HD is going to provide you with a ton more coverage and therefore a lot more protection, which is the point of today's video. All right, guys, a couple of quick things to point out here with the Barricade. First and foremost, this sucker is heavy, 150 pounds to be exact, so you know it's solid, but you also want to make sure you have a buddy around to help you get this monster in place. Secondly, I really enjoy how this bumper still retains your factory tow hooks behind those little plates there. So if you do a lot of off-roading, you need a recovery point. That's certainly a key thing to point out. It's something that every aftermarket bumper is going to offer. You also have a spot for your front-mounted license plate there if you do need to run one in your particular state. Last but not least, lighting. You have a ton of options here with the standard Barricade, including some cube mounting options on the ends and a 20-inch standard LED light bar can go nicely right there in the center. So again, you can really build this thing out if you like to pack a ton of lighting. But all in all, guys, the Barricade HD, a very affordable way to add a tough look and a lot more protection when compared to your standard factory bumper. All right, guys, last but not least, we have this guy, right? The brush guard. And not just any brush guard, we're talking about the Barricade HD or heavy duty brush guard here, which is just extreme protection in every sense of the word, right? Whereas a bull bar or a bumper gives you a little bit more protection, but in selected areas, this guy is basically bulletproofing the entire front end. We're talking coverage for your bumper, the grille, the headlights, and even your hood here, thanks to a brush guard along with a very tough look. But let's talk about how you're getting that big time increase in protection, and it's pretty obvious, right? The coverage is there, which is kind of a given with the brush guard, but you're also looking at some very, very tough materials. First and foremost, you have these incredibly stout vertical supports, solid steel, which basically act as a home base for your tubular sections. Combination of both 1 and 2-inch stainless steel tubing going on here for your headlights. 2-inch stuff's basically going to incorporate the grille area, and that's all been finished off in that black powder coating. But here's where the HD name comes into play. Now, a lot of these brush guards in the category, sure, you'll get the vertical supports, sure, you'll get the tubing over your headlights, but where the HD is coming into play is this really tough steel punch plate up front there, which is going to be key in protecting your grille area from rock chips on the highway and stones and branches off-road. Now, a couple of quick things to point out here with the Barricade HD. It's going to hover right around that mid $500 price point, so bang for your buck, pound for pound, whatever you want to say. This is going to be one of the best and most affordable ways to completely bulletproof the entire front end. Now, as far as weight is concerned, yes, it's as heavy as it looks, so kind of goes without saying this is certainly going to be another 2-person install. Just be prepared for that. No auxiliary lighting is included with the Barricade here, but there is a ton of options to mount those lights, whether it be cube lights, light bars, whatever the case. Basically anywhere there's a bar you can clamp onto without drilling into your rig, and that's one thing I do really like about these particular options. Some drawbacks with something like this, well listen, if you have a 360 camera, front camera, kind of gonna render that useless with this in place. And also if you have adaptive cruise control, this really isn't gonna drive too well with that either. So this is a great way to really bulletproof the entire front end. The Barricade HD here is gonna be really hard to beat when looking for all-out protection. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up our brief look into some of your front protection options here on the site featuring the Barricade products. Now with that said, I do wanna point out that there are a ton of other options currently on the site from great companies like ADD, Weston, Iron Cross, and more. So if you want a full list of what we do have to offer in regards to your front end protection, feel free to check out the product page at any time. Hey, we wanna hear from you guys. Which one of these options are you digging for your rig? Get involved in the discussion and drop us a comment. And hey, if you like what we're doing here, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. In the meantime, I'm Justin. Thanks for watching. Remember, for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.